Hello, you're watching James. My name's James, you're watching me, and I am talking about watches. Well, today we are doing another first impressions, and for me, it's a first impressions of a watch brand that I've been keeping my eye on for a long time, but I've struggled with them a little bit. And it's Bulova, or Bulova, or however you want to say it. I don't know how to say it. Please don't make fun of me. No, Bulova or Bulova is a watch brand that I really like. However, every time I look through their sort of catalogue of watches, I struggle to connect with them. There's a few that stand out to me, and there's a few that sort of look okay. There's a few that I like the idea of, but then there's a whole bunch that sort of, they look okay, but doesn't really sort of connect with me. But today I wanted to try something that has stood out to me previously. I ended up finding it at a really good price, and that really good price was caused because Joma Shop was nice enough to give me a small discount. Yes, I still have to pay for this watch, but they did give me a small discount. Hence why you would have seen that sponsored icon. They didn't sort of pick a watch for me. They gave me a small discount to apply to one of their watches, and this is the one that I picked. It's the Bulova Hack, a watch that I looked at previously. It's a field watch. It has a really cool looking case back, and it's a watch that I'm really interested in having on the wrist. I've been trying to buy some field watches back in 2022, and I wasn't really connecting with them. I was liking them, I was enjoying them, I thought they were great, but I just wasn't having that sort of connection. And I thought, well, let's try a different brand. Let's try a brand that I haven't tried before. And guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hey, do you mind just clicking on that subscribe button? It makes a really big difference to me and this channel. But let's flip the camera around now and let's check out this field watch by Bulova or whatever you like to call it. Let's check it out. So here we have my first Bulova or Bulova. I think it's Bulova, I don't know. Really cool packaging. It has like almost like a, flip. Yep, that's really cool. Really nice. It presents very well, and at this sort of price point, it's probably one of the better packages I've seen at this sort of price. But obviously we're here to see the watch, and it comes on one of those big oversized pillows. So straight out of the box, having a quick look over it, there are 5 things that really stood out to me. Firstly, this really cool case back. It's one of the reasons why I bought it. Not so much for the content that's on there, just that really cool colored case back. And what I wasn't really expecting is that it's really sort of inset into the back there, covered by a piece of crystal there. I think it's a mineral crystal. So there's no sort of feel of that sort of color. It's really protected there. I feel very comfortable that that will last the lifetime of this watch. Nextly actually is the crown. I really quite like the crown. Has the Bulova sort of tuning fork there, really nice size as well. Not screw down this one, so you go straight into hand winding, and it's a really nice hand winding action, and really nice just to have one position, no ghost position on this particular one. The next thing that stood out to me was actually the dial, and I understand that this dial, there's nothing really too special about it. When we're looking at watches that look like this is a fairly standard looking dial, but it's just done really well. It seems to be really working in a sort of a way that really suits this watch, really sort of fits into what I like from this watch as well. I'm not sure if perhaps it's the sizing of the numbers, I'm not sure the placing of the numbers or the size of the hands, but no matter what it is, I just look at it and go, yeah, that looks really, really cool. Next is the crystal. It has a really cool sort of almost a box sort of, I think it's like mineral crystal, this one here, but just looks really cool, sits really nice on the case, and I really quite like that. The next thing that stood out to me was actually slightly strange. It's not a negative or a positive, it's just something that stood out to me. It's when I put it on wrist, I use the very last hole. So I have a medium 6 3/4 inch wrist. So if you're buying this one and you have a smaller wrist than me, well, you're going to have to buy another strap. The strap itself is actually quite nice with some nice metal hardware, but it just surprised me that I was right up here on that last hole, and you'll see that when I show it on wrist in a second. Besides that, everything seems to be made quite well. It's not the thinnest watch in the world. You can see there's a little bit of a chunk there, but nice sort of size, nice sort of angles there, and being a slightly smaller watch in general, it's going to fit most people's wrists. It just has a little bit of width there. You can see there is a bit of different types of brushing, downwards and across, which is quite cool. Brushing on the tops of those lugs, nice sort of squared lugs as well. So it really sort of fits in with this sort of field aesthetics. And on wrist, as you can see, I'm using the last hole. There's actually a little bit of movement there, but it actually fits really nicely. So I'm not concerned about it. It fits me perfectly. And as you turn it around, you can see, yeah, that fits nice. This sort of size of watch always is going to generally fit my wrist quite well. It has a slightly longer lug to lug. It's certainly not long, but you can see that it sort of sticks out a little bit. Certainly would be fitting smaller wrists as well, I think. And you can see it sits up a little bit because there is a little bit of width to this watch. But overall, it's a really nice sort sort of watch to wear. I was a little bit concerned because I think this is an 18mm strap, and when you sort of think 18mm, you think, ooh, that's a little bit thin, a little bit small, but as you can see, I think it looks great. It doesn't really bother me at all. I'm not even noticing that it's only 18mm. So I guess it fits in with the watch, fits in with the overall dimensions. So yep, I'm really, really happy with it. It's a really cool looking watch. I'm so glad to be able to get a watch from this brand because I've wanted one for so long. And as always, I'll be wearing this one on wrist, and I'll be getting a full review out in around about 4 to 6 weeks. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I do hope to see you in the next video.